Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about how the spirit of debate shipwrecks many Christians, or at least professing Christians. Romans chapter 1, in talking about people who didn't like to retain God in their knowledge, and God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. In verse 29 of that chapter, it says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, etc., etc. I want to focus on that debate word. And essentially, the word used there for debate is eris, the Greek word eris, and it's literally a goddess of strife. That's what that word came to symbolize, strife and discord, to stirring up excitement and dispute among people. And yet many professing Christians, devoid of the fruit of the Spirit, are actively partaking of that spirit of debate, that eris spirit. And they're walking in that. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 20, Paul says, for I fear lest when I come I shall not find you such as I would, and that I shall be found unto you such as ye would not, lest there be debates, envyings, wrath, strifes, backbitings, whisperings, swellings, tumults. This is a common issue that occurs in churches if they're left out of control, they don't have some discipline, and if people don't personally examine themselves to see where they're in the faith, because so often today this debate arises from pretending to want more knowledge. It seems innocent. Well, I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying. Well, I'm just trying to learn more about this. But really, it's just to argue and fight and debate and to sow strife and discord. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 28 says, a froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. You have to really be careful with yourself when you're going around, especially online, today's social media environment. There's so many people quick to sow some strife here and there. Quick to try to get in a debate and argue over things and fight over things for no reason. There's no valid, useful, godly purpose for it. They are not praying and saying, you know what, God, should I say this? They don't care about that. They just want to say what they want to say. They want to get a little argument going, or they want to try to prove themselves right. That's one of the big things. They just want to be right. But it doesn't matter what you say to them. They just want to argue and fight and sow discord because they're so filled with that spirit of debate and denying the fruit of the Spirit. This will affect you in every area of your life. If you're this way, if you always got to be right, if you always got to fight and argue with people, somebody says something a little tiny bit wrong, you got to correct them. That spirit of debate will wreck you in business and in life and in relationships. People aren't going to be around that. And it's so popular today to do, especially on social media, when people can do it anonymously. They can do it with no repercussions for it. Just go around sowing discord. I had some guy coming recently. He asked me what I thought was an honest question at first, but I gave him his answer, and he just kept going back to it and making up stuff. Well, but you meant this. As if I meant what he thought I meant, because he was not intelligent enough to understand the plain, simple English language, and just made up stuff completely out of left field because he thought that's what it must mean. Even though what I said was so plain, anyone could understand it, a child could have understood it. But he just wanted to fight. And I tried to answer him again, thinking, well, maybe this guy shouldn't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's a second language for him. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to be helpful. And he just comes back with more debate, more argument, more plainly denying what I said to him and saying, well, but you really, what are you saying over here? You said this, which I didn't say. Just making up stuff and lying. And at some point, you got to realize you're trying to help people. You're trying to be good and make sure to explain things clearly, because sometimes things can come out. You say them, you know what you mean, you know what you're saying, but maybe somebody else hears it a little different way because they're a different individual than you. And so you need to clarify. That's perfectly fine. If you're seeking clarification, that's fine. But many people are going out there seeking debate. They just want to fight and argue. Like this individual, I had to just stop responding to him because he just kept arguing. And then he sent me some long diatribe about how He's just trying to get information. That's what they always say. Arguing, debating, fighting, sowing strife, making up lies, and then he's the innocent, poor victim who's just trying to learn. It's a tragic way to live because you don't get knowledge that way. And the worst part is you have to resist the Spirit to behave in that way in the first place. It is directly going against the goodness of God. It is directly going against His grace. It is directly resisting the Spirit because you're not operating the fruit of the Spirit when you're in debate, when you're just going out to argue with people and fight with them and sow some strife here and some strife there. And let me argue over this. Let me argue over this little word because I don't like the way they said it. I don't like this meaning, so I got to argue and argue and argue until I get them to agree with me. That is not a Christian life, my friend. And that is not a life that's going to bring about success. That is a life that will bring about cursing. When you act that way and behave that way and think that way, you are actively choosing cursing. You're actively choosing death. You're not choosing blessing and life. You're choosing death and cursing. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 through 19 says, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren." And that is what the spirit of debate is. It's sowing discord here and there. It's arguing, it's fighting, it's always being in this strife, which is not godly behavior. It's not done from a place of love. It is not done from a place of trying to acquire knowledge. It is done from a spirit of strife and debate, and it is not godly behavior. And it will lead to ruin in those who continue to practice that behavior. Not one of these people who does this kind of stuff is having a great life. Their life is filled with one kind of problem after another, and they'll blame God for it, and then they'll go argue with somebody else. And you know these people. You've seen these people in real life. Now, there aren't as many of them in real life because people have some consequences if they say dumb stuff to you in real life. But online, there's just an infinite amount of them. People who are out of control, people who do not police their speech, people who do not monitor their speech, and don't really do all things unto the Lord. Listen, when I go post something online, I consider, is this godly? Is this honoring my Father in heaven? I know most people do not do that because some of the nonsense they post is so contrary to the love of God, contrary to God's grace. It is so filled with debate and strife and discord that it is so ungodly they don't even see it. Listen, the person who sows discord among brethren is listed among those proud looks and lying tongues, shedding innocent blood. It is that vile of a behavior. And yet so many people practice today and they don't even think it's a problem. And my friend, you need to clear this up once and for all. A way to approach life that I think is good and practical is that what you're doing is being seen by the Lord, and is it honoring God? If you really approach life that way, you're going to behave so differently. You can't get into these debates and these arguments and these strifes over words that these people do because you just can't get dragged down to that low level of living. And the tragic thing is those people have really bad lives. They're not happy. They're never pleased because they're always trying to find the next debate because it gives them a little bit of sense of superiority or a sense of usefulness in the world, that they fought with this person over here and I argue with this person over here and I sowed some discord over there. They feel like they're doing something in life, and it's tragic. You can do good in this life. You don't have to do evil. You don't have to sow discord. You don't have to debate and argue and fight. It crushes people's spirit. It is not good. And you can go pray your prayers that bounce off the ceiling because God's not hearing you because you're sowing discord and debate. Or you can get right with God, speak as the oracles of God, speak in a way that honors God, that really from a loving place considers what you're speaking, considers what you're going to say, and that it is actually helpful for all. You're not sitting there to argue. You're not only speaking because you want to debate something. You really have a good, honest, pure heart, and you want to bring out the best in life. And you want to do all that you do to the glory of God. And that, my friend, is always what I'm encouraging you to do in all things, including your speech, and very importantly, your speech. Do all that you do unto the glory of God. Do everything you do for the Lord and to give him glory. And if you do that, you can't behave like the world does. You can't behave in a spirit of debate and shipwreck your faith by behaving like the devil himself. And don't think because you can get away with it online, you're doing it anonymously, nobody knows who you are, that you're somehow innocent of it. No. God sees. And God wants you to live a righteous life. He wants you to live a godly life and speak as the oracles of God, and speak in a way that is godly, loving, and full of the anointing of the Spirit. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.